Alright, y'all. What I'm working on next is an aluminum dice. Let me show you what I got. Here's your blueprint. So I got 1 inch by 1 inch by 0.9 inches. And I have my dice set up in the jig already. What I gotta do is cut it to size first before I drill any holes for the dice dots. So what I gotta do here is I'm gonna flatten one end, I'm gonna have to flip around, flatten the other end until I get my measurement proper. So I'm going to go ahead and flatten this side using a carbide end mill. Turn this camera off here. Kind of can see where it's already cut. Going a little deeper. That's 3 thousandths. Now we're going to 9 thousandths. And watch the shavings fly. This was the very end of a piece of square aluminum stock, and you can see where it came from. The manufacturer's kind of rough. Alright, that was 9 thousandths. Let me move it up to like 12 thousandths. No, 13. Let's go 13. I just got to make this side smooth. Once this side is smooth, then we can take a measurement, flip it around, and cut off the other side. There we go. It looks pretty good. There's a little piece here, though, I don't like, so I'm barely going to move it over to 14 thousandths, and I'm going to call this side good and flush. I'm gonna make another pass just because some of the shavings stuck to the side there. This should clean it up barely. Not really. Let's go back. I'm gonna clean it, and passing it from this way is a cleaner cut. So I'm at 15 thousandths, and this will be the final cut on this side. And right now I'm not worried about the edges, like the corners. I'll clean those up later on. And there you have it. Oh yeah, nice and smooth and flush. So now I'm going to flip it around and cut the other side. Alright, I flipped the part around, and from left to right, which is the left side, that's the right side. I just flipped it. It must be 1 inch wide, and right now it's slightly over 1 inch. I've got to cut off about a 1/16 of an inch. And before I do that, what I need to do is edge find and then get some measurements so I can cut exactly to 1 inch. And I'm barely going to go a hair above 1 inch. So it's going to be like 1.020 maybe. Alright, so let me show you how to edge find here. We're going to turn the machine on. What you do is you rotate the machine until that bottom piece kicks out, and you'll see it kick out. I'll show you what to do after it kicks out. So right here, getting pretty close. You see the kick out? You see that? Alright, when I hit to this spot, I'm gonna let go of the machine and leave it. So very carefully, very slowly, go to the edge, wait for kick out. There it is. So I let off the machine, and then if you look here, let me show you. Now I need to zero my X because I was moving X. I'm going to turn the machine off. That's going to finish spinning. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower my Z, which will raise the spindle in a way. And then you're going to move X over by 1 thousandths because the width of this piece is 2 thousandths. So you have to find the center point by going to not 1 thousandths, I'm sorry, 100 thousandths. I always say my numbers wrong. I'm horrible at that. So I'm almost here. There. Oh, go back. Almost there. Tap, tap, tap. There we are. Now we're gonna re-zero the X. Now if you look in the center of the edge finder, that thing is dead centered over the edge. So anything that I now put in this spindle without moving this will be right perfectly on the edge of that. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to move the X-axis over. I'm going to put this edge finder on the other end, which is labeled the right side, although in the camera looking on is the Y. I'm sorry, the right side. And then I just moved my Z. So now what we got to do is find the edge again. So turn the machine on. I'm going to rotate over. Kick out. Alright, left the machine alone. Going to turn that off. Alright, and if we look on our drill here, digital readout, we're at 1 inch, 154 thousandths and 2/10. I don't really count the 2/10, which is this column here. We'll ignore that. So I got to move the edge finder over by the width of the edge of it. So we're going to lower Z, and I'm going to rotate X-axis 1,000. So by doing subtracting 1,000, what was it, 54? I think that's what it said. I think it said 54. If not, then I'm a little off. All right, there we go. Now if we look at the center of it again, I know I messed up the edge right there on that corner, but it is dead center right over the middle of the edge right there. Whoa, too much movement. Alright, now that's how wide my part is, but we gotta shave it down. So I'm gonna get rid of this 54 thousandths, and I'm gonna bring this to 1 inch and maybe 2 thousandths just to give me a hair to play with. So we got to shave off basically 50 thousandths of an inch, pretty close to it. So I got to change parts out, and then I'll show you how to shave off the edge. Alright, let me change parts and then we'll get after it. Alright, I have my carbide end mill in there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to re-zero this edge right here. So let me move it over barely touches. There we go. Then I will re-zero X again. And what did I say I needed to shave off? 0.052. We're going to start with 0.050 and then take a measurement. So as I cut this X, we'll change numbers, and I'll show you that. Actually, here, let me move my Y so we can see the cut where I'm going to go, so I can move this spindle over. We're going to go in right now. We'll go 15 thousandths of an inch. That meaning the far left side of the end mill, the left side there, just moved over that direction, and now we'll shave a real thin layer as it comes forward on this piece here. And we're cutting 15 thousandths of an inch off of this edge over here. So let's cut. And I'm moving Y from the back to the front, and we're going to shave 15 thousandths off right here. There we go, and bye-bye markings. There we go. So now if I were to measure that, it should be 54 minus 15, which is what, 29, 39? But I know that I need to go 52, so we're just going to move this Let's go 25. It's gonna be a little, no, let's go 30. It's gonna be the same amount of cut that we just took off. I'll go back the other direction. Now moving from the rear to the front on my y-axis. There we go. That's hogging off some material. Look at all them chips coming off. That's quite a bit. Alright. Now I'm going to just take 10 off. I'm going to go to 40 and then I'm going to take a measurement. So let's go to 40. Like I said, you ignore the last number. That's the and tenths number. We don't count that. So we're going to 40 thousandths right here. I'm going to cut this. I'll take a measurement after the cut and see where we're at. There we go, pretty good. Turn the machine off. I just did 40 thousandths of a cut, so I'm going to back the X off so I can get to my part here. And I'm going to, right now, just rough eyeball it with my scale. And then in a minute, I'm going to go get an actual micrometer to measure it and see if I'm right on the money. All right, there we are. Let's move that off. Got my handy dandy scale here. I'm going to use this as an edge. Hold on. Pull this off. So I have good. I'm going to use that as an edge. And I'm just over 1 inch. I'm about 1 inch and maybe a 64th of an inch. But let's measure it with a micrometer to see where we're at. Alright, I got my micrometer. I'll slide it over here. Wiggle it until it doesn't wiggle no more. Lock it into place with the block on the back. Slide it off. And we are pretty close. So I got to get that down a little bit more. I'm going to unlock this and show you where we got to go. So if I come to here, this is 1 inch and 1 thousandths. Not 1 thousandths, 10 thousandths. So if I go all the way this way, that's where I need to be for my final number. So if we rotate this all the way around, it goes to 30. I'm going to put this at 15 and lock it. That means I know I'm halfway to where I want to be, and if I can fit it in there, I'm getting close. Right now I can't fit it back in, so I need to shave off a little bit more. And it's good to trust not just the DRO, the digital readout, but also your micrometers. So while this is out, let's go back to -40 where I was at, and then we're going to actually shave off a little bit more. Let's go to -45 and then take another measurement. Alright, run it wide back, turn the machine on. I'm gonna kick from 45 over to 47. Go back that way. And then now I'm going to trim it down to 50 thousandths of an inch, because this is a cleaner cut coming this direction. It doesn't leave all those shavings on the edge. And then right here, I will turn the machine back off. I'm at 50 thousandths. I will push away the X, pull my Y back over here so I can take another measurement and see where we're at. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There's a lot of spinning on these hand wheels here. Alright. Can my micrometer fit in there from where I locked it? No. So I still got a little bit to go. Barely though, not much. So I will kick over at -50. I had I'm going to go negative 52. Let's say negative 52. Let's cut this, and then we'll come back and measure again. There we go. Machine on, roll out X. That was 52. I'm going to bump it up to 55, and whether it's dead on the money or not, I'm just going to be done, because this is all just for practice. Actually, I said 55. Let's go to 56 coming back this way, just to clean that edge up. Alright, turn the machine off, back X off, I'm out. I was at 56 on that. Scroll it back out this way. Let's do another measurement, just to see where we're at. A good clean surface to measure. Well, that fits, so we know it's less than half of what I needed to go. Let's see exactly where I'm at, because I'm done basically. Wiggle left and right, top and bottom, till it stabilizes. Alright, we're stabilized. Let's lock it, slide it off, and I'm 1.06. I mean, I could shave it down a little bit more to get it down to perfectly 0, but I am barely just over 1 inch, and I'm okay with that. I'm done here, and that right there is how you edge fine and clean up a surface edge with an end mill. If you want it to be dead on, just shave it down another 0.6 of an inch, which I'm not going to do. I'm good to go for now. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something new. Have a good day.